The second biggest fishing trawler in the world arrived in Australia last week. But with it came a sea of controversy. The government has tried to stop the Super Trawler from dropping its huge nets in Australian waters. But the company behind it says it's doing nothing wrong and has followed all the rules. So why has it become such a controversial issue? Let's take a look. Fans of fishing often say, too much is never enough. They're talking about the age-old pastime of chucking in a line though. They're not talking about this. A super trawler. Because of its size, this super trawler, now named the Able Tasman, has sailed into a storm of controversy since it arrived in Australia. It's been caught hook, line and sinker in a net of protest. But enough with the sailing puns. Let's take a look at what this ship actually does. The Able Tasman has the ability to catch more than 250 tonnes of fish a day. And once on board, the ship can store about 6,200 tonnes before needing to head back to port. The two types of fish it goes after are jack mackerel and redbait. Once caught, they are moved to an onboard fish factory where they are sorted, frozen and packed. The factory takes up about 2/3 of the ship's length. The rest is used for actual fishing. Well, it was planned to be used for actual fishing, but despite not breaking any rules, when word spread the huge trawler was on its way, the protest started. They all want it banned, but why? Well, here are some of the arguments for and against this super trawler.
The ship will catch too many fish. It's not sustainable.
It can't catch more than the limit set by the government, no matter how big it is.
If there's a limit, why bother with such a big ship then?
It's faster and more efficient.
The trawler's net's so big it could hold 13 jumbo jets.
Yeah, but it's actually smaller than some of the other nets that are being used in Australia.
It has too much storage. It just can't keep fishing in one place, which is bad for local fish stocks.
No, the big storage means the ship can go further from port and fish in areas other trawlers can't usually reach.
It'll catch other marine animals in its huge nets.
If seals or dolphins are caught in the nets, there's a special device which helps them to escape.
So that's the for and against, but which side is right here? Well, the government has decided against the super trawler and against its own department that had earlier given the ship permission to come. So for now, the super trawler is banned. Although the government says it will look at the issue again in a year after more research has been done. And that brings us to the end of the super trawler story. The story of a boat lured down under before being reeled into the net of a government ban.
Oh, Nathan!
Oh, right, sorry. No more sailing puns.